Hello everybody and welcome back to another chill Sunday stream. Hope we're having a chill and lovely Sunday, everybody. Glad for those who are already here. I see Ill with the eyes. Doug says Sunday streams in this economy, it's more likely than you think. Enjoy the last bit of the video game or else. We shall. Duke says Sunday. Welcome Duke. Welcome Ill. And Doug, I know you probably popped in and popped out, but thank you for showing up. Hope everybody's doing well. We'll start in a few minutes. Yeah, we're gonna be wrapping up all of Porcupine today. Well, we were doing that last time, but, you know, game had a little bit more to tell than previously thought. So we shall. Game had story. Game has things to say. We're gonna see what it has to say. Hello and welcome Shark, and hello and welcome Jalex. Hope you both are having a chill and lovely Sunday. Glad you could join us. Beware overhead sharks as a shark flies in. We got a shark attack. Hello and welcome, Jaguar. Always glad to see the kitty in a box. Beware Sharknado. And Ill is here, yes. Looks like we got a bunch of people here already, so I think we can jump back in. So last time when we were playing, there was a protest at the hospital, and there was a lot of complications about that protest, where there were some legitimate things like the nurses being, you know, not, you know, treated well, you know, staffing issues, but also some of the complaints from the person in charge of the protest were not really fair. They were aimed at doctors and not the system. So let's see how this plays out, because this hospital has, much the gang has piled in early today, says Duke. True, it really has. So yeah, the person who's in charge of the protest has been not somebody who's been the most friendly or kind to the people who are working at the hospital, who are helping people. And instead of blaming the hospital administration or the funding or anything like that, it has been more aimed at, oh, this particular doctor let somebody die, and it's a misunderstanding of what's to blame for the system. So let's take a look and see how this game talks about the rest of the reality that's going on here. So that there. Also, Hero is around somewhere. Good to know Hero is around. Shark says I haven't seen the Sharknado movies. That just seems inappropriate. Maybe we can watch them on the server. Somebody wants to get them ready, we can totally do that. Aw, Duke says Hero likes us all too. Alright, so we left off with... I think we ended the shift and we were about to head outside. Let's see what happens. It's gonna be a long night. Good job, I've just put up a fresh pot of coffee. Are you not changing? We might want to go around the back. Yeah, good idea. Duke says, I will be able to be around to watch the movies more over the next while since I'm going to be unemployed as of Thursday. Oh, did something happen, Duke? That could either be wonderful news or terrible news, and I don't know. It's mostly meh. Well, I am sorry to hear that that is meh. I am sorry about your meh situation. Oh, good to know the little kid isn't at the protest. Duke says they didn't renew the contract for various reasons, affecting the people up top. I never had security being on contract, and I'm not without hope. I may even end up back there in a few months or less. Well, hopefully it works out the way that it needs to for you to be financially secure enough and for you to be okay. Because that's the most important part. It really does sound like an administrative mess. Hello? Hey, Carl, it's us. What's the password? Password? You didn't give us a password. True. I guess that one's on me. Can you let us in, please? It's pretty cold out here. Not without the password. Hold on, I just need a minute to think of one. Okay, alright, I've got one. The password is mango. Keep it to yourselves, don't pass it on. Great, will you let us in now? Not until you give me the password. Mango. Ah, it's you guys. Very, very good. Well, what are you standing around out there for? Come on in. It's way too cold outside. And then Finley came along. Mr. Erndes hasn't exactly confirmed that, but he said he still remembers a stack of folders and bright light. What are you thinking, Carl? I think that all fits together. I used my involuntary vacation to do some thinking. I never liked this whole situation right from the start. First, though, I need to apologize to you, Finley. I was never quite sure if you'd been imagining things or not when you had your accident. But I can see now that you were onto something. So what are your conclusions? That we need to go deeper. Deeper? You know I'm the longest serving member of staff at St. Ursula's after Ingrid. I do the rotas, manage our inventories, and put our orders together. What are you getting at? We need to go to the hospital's document archive. That could be where we find the answers to what's going on here. You mean the big storeroom in the basement? Surely we can't just walk in there. Nah, the storeroom's always locked. Even I don't have access to it. But I have an idea how we can get in there. It'll require perfect teamwork, though. This is a delicate matter, like an ornate glass figurine. We need to consider our every move carefully, like chess grandmasters. Wow, you've really put some thought into this. Of course I have. So listen carefully. Including the key for the archive, that's the one we need to get. And how are we going to do that? Sometimes Gregor stays at the hospital late into the night. Seems like he's got some kind of project he works on in his office after hours. I don't know what it is, but he sure puts a lot of time into it. And over the course of many night shifts, I've noticed something. At exactly 1 a.m. every night, he leaves his office and sets off to see Ingrid. Yes, that's it. Slowly, he sets out on his trusted path. Does Ingrid ever sleep? Step by step, foot by foot, his mind never straying from his goal, until he finally reaches Ingrid's desk. The two always spend a while chatting. No, Ingrid has been there every single shift we have seen. And now we know that she's there at 1 a.m. Like, when does this woman ever sleep or actually leave the hospital? Then Gregor grabs a coffee and heads back to his office. And you know what? When he goes on his little walks, he never locks his office. That gives us the perfect window to get in there. Finley, you wait until Gregor leaves his office. Maybe she's like, the pilot in Farscape. I have no idea what that's referencing. That's when you go in and look for the archive key. Sounds good, but he must have lots of keys. It'll take me a while to find the right one. No problem. That's where Mia and I come in. Word on the street says you're a talented actress, Mia. What? Me? I've never watched Farscape, no. Good evening, my dearies. What's with the disguise? I'm on leave right now, right? It's best if I stay incognito while I'm at the hospital for now. I don't want any more trouble. Okay. Good, now where was I? Ahem. Please pay no attention to me. I'm just an old fragile little granny. Just here to visit her little son. I suppose I'd better head up to his room. Whoops. Oh my hip. Such pain. Ow. Don't worry, I'm coming. Fear not, I am a competent junior doctor. I am here to help this poor old lady. It looks like she took a bad fall with no outside interference whatsoever. What's this now? If you get a costume, I want one too. After all, I'm playing the courageous doctor in shining armor. Alright, I guess. As I was saying, I rushed here right now to help this injured person. This looks bad. You there with the broom. What, me? You look strong. I implore you, help me with this old lady. What's with the amateur dramatics? No drama here, sir. This is serious. I need to make sure that this person has not sustained any more severe injuries. Alright. The comically large head. Yep. And then boom. The key is ours. The perfect plan. Now there's just one thing left to do. Head down to the basement and into the document archive. Must resist urge to float on ball. Good job, team. It's heist time. Before we go in there, what exactly are we looking for? I'm not quite sure yet, but we'll know when we see it. Shark says comically large props are the best gag. They are certainly up there. The door was already open. What? That can't be right. The door's always locked. Maybe so, but it wasn't today. Maybe. Maybe you're right, Carl. Let's check it out. Someone was in here recently. How do you know that? The layer of dust isn't as thick as usual. I haven't been here in ages, but something just feels different. Like someone's disturbed the energy of the room. Since when are you the mystical type? Listen! You can feel when a room has not been in like a long time. You can feel the shift. I don't know how, but it's definitely possible. I believe Carl here. Hey, back off. I can sense these things. You better take a look around. Maybe we'll just find something unusual. In movies, archives like this are full of secrets and treasure. In real life, I guess they're full of boredom, too. Jalix says it's the dust. Maybe. Maybe. I think it's more than the dust, though. I think there's also a sense of, like, you can kind of feel when... Like, it's kind of that feeling when you can feel when a person's nearby, even if you can't see them. Like, you can feel them looming behind you. Or you can feel a presence in the room, even though you can't actually see them. I don't know if it's just the dust. Air pressure is definitely a factor. Medical records, doctor's letters, studies, lab results. Some of these documents are older than my parents. There must be loads of thrilling stories stashed away down here. And nobody ever reads them. Look up here. Finley, get down from there. You'll break your neck. Mia's right. We all know how those boxes are out to get you. How did you get up there anyway? Doesn't matter. Someone's taken some folders off these shelves. You can still see a print in the dust. It's pretty obvious something's missing. What? Let me see. Yes, it's definitely not normal. I know it doesn't look like it, but there is actually a system in these archives. And something's clearly missing here. The empty space should be filled with at least 7 years' worth of receipts and bills. You're right, Carl. Why do you sound so surprised? I thought you'd be used to that by now. Do you think this means anything? I think it does. What's really interesting is that all the missing files should belong to the same time period. They'll all be documents that would potentially be needed for communication with the health insurance companies. Those kinds of documents don't just disappear. But they might have been moved to another location because they're still needed. Like an old hospital bed on the 5th floor, for instance? That's gotta be it. There must be someone who knows about this. Dr. Theobald, maybe? I don't know. He hasn't been seen in a while. Should we go to the police? There's someone outside. We need to get out of here quickly. Agreed. What are you doing down here? Pearl, is that you? Sandra, we just stumbled on something big. Have you seen Dr. Theobald? We need to speak to him urgently. The boss? Haven't seen a whiff of him. I need to see Halil and pick up some blood results. It's not like there's anyone here who's actually meant to be working on our ward, but you'd better settle in anyway. That crowd outside's way bigger now. I wouldn't be trying to head home right now if I were you. Not that I can think of about clocking off. Too much to do. The wards are all pretty much full, so come on, make yourselves useful. Danch is right. Finley, we should lend a hand on the ward. What about the missing documents? I'm sure that can wait. We still need to give Gregor his key back, then help out upstairs. You're right. I could use a little help here. That was Ingrid. Let's have a look. Uh-oh. Down with St. Ursula's! Here comes another of those bunglers. Ralph, you crackpot. Just go home, okay? You can't just come in here like this. It's not allowed. Please. Just let us do our job. The noise you're making's bad enough. But more importantly than that, you're blocking the main entrance. That means you're stopping us from admitting any more patients. Please just leave. Bah, that's just a load of stupid excuses. Who's gonna stop us, you? Patrick here has a terrible ailment. Exactly, ow, the pain. It's enough. Not only did you cripple him for the rest of his life when he injured his arm years ago, that nasty little runt attacked us both just the other week. Patrick's still recovering to this day, and that's not even mentioning the psychological trauma we both suffered. Don't be ridiculous. Ow, my arm. See, we have every reason to be here, every right to. We're not leaving until we get some answers. Get the chief physician out here now. But, hasn't Dr. Theobald come to speak to you already? He assured me that, of course he hasn't. As if he would get his fat ass out of that comfy chair. Will you all just listen for 1 minute? If he's not gonna come down here, we'll just have to take this to him. That's right. And you know what else? Let me through, damn it. Help, quickly. Renee, what's up? This person, they were just standing next to me in the crowd, then all of a sudden they fainted. I just managed to stop them from hitting the ground. They don't look good. We should take them to the ward. Typical, always the same. Next poor soul for you to bleed dry. Finley, lend a hand here. But what about Dr. Theobald? I'll try and find out where he is. And I'll try to find out more about the missing documents too. We'll talk later. Alright. Let me through, you scumbags. Patient's in very poor condition. Jaguar says this mob has so many issues and it's not the hospital. I mean, it is the hospital system. It is the insurance companies. It's the way that hospitals are run. It's the for-profit motive. It's not the actual doctors and physicians. It's not the actual medical equipment. It's not the, the work itself. It's not even the it's certainly not the nurses. And, I get why they're frustrated and they feel taken advantage of. They're not getting the outcomes they want. The only news that you get in a medical facility is usually either bad news or, it's not as bad as we thought it could be, but still pretty bad stuff. Like, outcomes very rarely give positive results. It's usually keeping things relatively neutral. Or trying to bring somebody back to a status quo of where they were. So a lot of pressure gets put on people to perform their duty, and not a lot of thankfulness gets spread around for what they do. So, I hear you. This patient's in very poor condition. I'm glad you brought him to us. Do you know what's wrong with him? I'll take care of this. Please just give me some time. Mia, Finley, please look after the ward. There's a lot to do as ever, and this isn't helping. Sure, we'll take care of it. I want to help too. Good. Ask around the other wards, see if anyone else can help out. Consider it done. Duke says those with the money and power and who get to make the decisions have long since insulated themselves behind many layers of functionaries. They don't even have to smell their own shit, metaphorically. True. Don't you need any help here? What I need most of all is time. The best way to help me is to take care of the ward on your own. Forgive me if I can't monitor your work as closely as usual. You and me have been here a while now. Prove to me that I can trust you with our ward. Alright. Let's head over to P33. Or P31, we'll start here. Greetings. And the same to you. You're struggling with inflammation after an abdominal injury, right? Let's take a look then. God, how are you supposed to contort your hand to do that one? Oof. That was rough. This is textbook inflammation, but I can see you've had all the important vaccines. We need to cool the wound properly, and you'll need antibiotics to treat the infection. Got it. For now, I'll just keep as still as possible. Good idea, and get well soon. That was ridiculous. The amount of buttons I had to hold on the controller at the same time. I see you have a gastrointestinal infection. That's true. And you had a colonoscopy last night. Correct. There are probably better ways to spend your evenings, right? You're not wrong there. Alright, let me take a look. Alright, we got 5 symbols. We got eye, skull, foot, tooth, bone. 2 are correct. Nothing in the right place. That's awful. Well, the only good thing about that information is there's only 3 other options, so we know hand, stomach, and blood are correct answers. We just need them in the right order. So let's try eye here and skull here and see what we get. Eye is not correct. Skull's in the right location. And these 3 are in the wrong order as well. So let's go stomach and stomach, hand. Let's do stomach, blood, hand. And then since eye is not correct, we'll try foot in this spot. Still nothing in the correct order. And foot is not correct. Let's try blood and stomach. And we'll try bone. Okay, it's tooth. Then we know tooth is here. Blood is here. There we go. No serious abnormalities were found during your colonoscopy. Your symptoms indicate a flu-like infection. That's good because it's treatable and it shouldn't trouble you for too long. But we need to get your electrolyte and water levels back up. And you need to make sure you drink plenty of fluids, preferably tea. Okay? And we'll head to P33. Something's not right here, is it? Honestly, I'm not sure. It feels that way. The protest's still going on downstairs. Shark says what kind of tea though? I didn't get tea for this stream. So, I don't know. It's got bigger even. Yes, I noticed. And we've had someone collapse on us too. One of the staff? No, a protester just keeled over out of nowhere. Dr. Krakowski's diagnosing him now, but we don't know what's wrong with him yet. No Earl Grey. Yeah, no Earl Grey, no green tea, no nothing. No tea today. At least not right now. I might later. Jalek says no tea. You know, I've worked in the healthcare sector for decades. There have always been scandals, arguments, criticism. Some time ago, a large number of hospitals came to a decision that would end up having huge ramifications. Healthcare was improving, people were healing and recovering faster. In a very short time, the average length of a patient's hospital visit was halved. Accordingly, the hospitals decided to halve the number of nursing staff. But the workload remained the same. So then came the overhauls, the saving strategies, that kind of thing. We're still seeing the effects of that decision today. I also see the shortcomings here at St. Ursula's too. What I'm trying to say is, I know what you're going through. I'd like to take a look at your readings, if that's okay. Of course. See what you got going on. Stomach, blood, foot, bone, tooth. Well, tooth is correct, and 2 of the other ones are correct. And we have heart, skull, alright, so we know heart and skull have to be correct. Stomach and... well, let's try that. How? There's stomach, blood, foot, bone, tooth. Is that a different foot symbol? Skull, heart. Oh, okay, I see how that could be it. Then we do bone and foot, but not in that order. So let's try bone. So that's our foot, bone, skull, heart. We got 4 correct in the wrong order. Now it's just a matter of reordering these. We know bone is in either slot 1 or 3. And let's try bone, foot, heart, skull. Perfect. The guy literally just did describe how things have gotten shittier every year. You're absolutely right, Duke. I'm almost afraid to tell you this. What is it? Is it all over for me? No, quite the opposite. Your readings have improved significantly. I wasn't expecting that, I must admit. But that's all part of the profession, too. Funny how things turn out sometimes. You should rest a little more. I think you'll be able to go back home soon. Your wish is my command. Oh, and one more thing. If I can help in any way, just say. I'd be glad to. That's really nice of you, but you're a patient here. The only thing you need to do is work on getting healthy again. If you insist. Finley, can you give me a hand, please? On my way. I've just finished my assignments. That's music to my ears. Can I take a look? While we're looking after the ward on our own, we should compare results to keep each other on track. Oh wow, that's pretty good, Finley. I don't think I could perform as well as you under stress. I've got to say, I'm a little overwhelmed right now. All our beds are occupied and I can't keep up. We'll manage it. I need to head up to the 4th floor for a few minutes. They're having trouble there too. Everyone's pitching in where they can right now. Can you take on a few more people? Here, I'll hold the fort. Thanks, I'll be right back. Good evening. I'd like to start. Can you tell me how you're feeling today? I've had awful stomach cramps ever since last night. Everybody's got stomach cramps and weird weird colon stuff. I'm telling you, something happened with the water at that festival. Because everybody was using the same water for the chili. And everybody tried the chili. So I'm waiting for it to affect more people. Something was wrong with the water supply. Something got poisoned. It's the pineapple. It could be the pineapple. I've had awful stomach cramps ever since last night. And diarrhea. My head feels like it's about to explode. The injection will help keep your pain in check at least. Okay. I feel like I'm gonna die. Oof. That's a nice good spot. Treatment complete. Duke says the hospital really is the first alarm. If it's functioning well enough, the staff even notice and investigate. For sure. I hope it kicks in soon. I've never felt this bad in my life. We'll give you a full checkup as soon as we can. In the meantime, try and get some sleep. Please hurry. There's something really wrong with me. I know it. Yeah, there's something going on, because everybody's coming in with the same complaints. Good evening. Can you tell me how you're feeling today? This morning it felt like the flu. Now everything hurts, every breath I take. And how's your digestion? Everything went right through me this afternoon. The painkillers didn't help either, only a little. I'm gonna take your pulse and then we'll see what we can do for you. I think Finley's starting to put it together. Damn. Alright, we squeezed out with a B there. Your body's fighting something. We're gonna find out what it is as quick as we can. Thank you. I hope it isn't contagious. Or is it always so busy here? Don't worry about that. My colleague will be back to check on you again soon. Good evening. Can you tell me how you're feeling today? Struggling for air. Everything hurts. Help me, please. Of course, we'll adjust your medication. Thank you. Okay, I am curious. what year this game was made now? Because I'm starting to wonder if this is kind of a COVID reference right now. Okay, medications. See, blue's already good, but pink needs to come up. We can have pink. Yeah, that works. Oh, this one sucks. Well, for sure there needs to be one of you. That gets red and green and good check. If I'm gonna get orange up, I need you, and you. That should do it. Was made in 2023, so most definitely published 2023. Released in June, definitely COVID inspired. Yeah, because this is reeking of major pandemic or illness kind of thing going on right now. My colleague will be here in a minute to give you new medication. Thank you, I don't want to die. We'll do everything we can to make sure you get well soon, I promise you that. Although I think COVID made it very apparent to a lot more people how bad hospitals have gotten. Yeah, that's it too, honestly. Oh no, I'm sorry. The fourth floor is even fuller than here. All the beds are occupied. There was some talk about whether we could fit more beds in somewhere. And then there was an incident. An elderly lady collapsed and I had to lend a hand for a while. And I didn't know the place so well, so... It's alright, take a deep breath. Better? Better. How'd it go here? I'm done with everything so far. Can I take a look? Everyone seems to be doing better. It's nice to know I can trust you with my tasks in case of an emergency. I'll try to return the favor soon. Thanks for taking over. How do you feel? No problem, I'm not flagging it. You're really tough. With all this running, I might as well quit the gym. I could really use some coffee right now. Let's do that then. Not at this time of day. I'm dead tired, actually. Have you heard from Carl yet? No, now that you mention it, I've not spoken to him. Should we give him a call? Maybe he has some news for us. Good idea. And? Nothing, he's not picking up. Strange, I hope everything's alright. Finley, Mia. Come quickly, please. The patient in room 302 is really sick. We can't stabilize him. Oh no. Finley, Mia, quickly. Help me stabilize the patient. The cramps keep getting worse. The patient is unresponsive. We need to... Oh shit. What? Dr. Kakowski, be quiet. Sandra, take the deceased details. The patient suffered from severe and irregular abdominal cramps. We noticed heavy gastrointestinal bleeding. Dr. Loomis advised against surgical treatment. The blood work needs to be evaluated immediately. We know the bleeding was caused by bacterial infection. Everything else will become clear soon. Please leave now. Yes, there is. Please give me a little space and get some rest. But don't you need a break? Not right now. This is an extreme case. I will consult Dr. Katera and wait for the results from Dr. Halil. I need you fresh and well-rested in the morning. If this patient fell sick without warning, others could too. Even if there's no indication of direct risk of infection, please be prepared. We'll know more tomorrow. This ain't great. This is definitely not great. Go to bed or go to bed quickly. What a night. Whatever, time to get to the hospital. Do you need a minute, Duke? Do you need us to... You want to talk about the feelings first before we move on? You'll be fine, but shit. Yeah, that was heavy. I was not expecting the game to go down this route. There's nobody here. It's like a ghost town. Hold on, where's Frog? There's a bunch of twigs here with a note tied to them. Hey, Finley. Caravan wasn't big enough for me and my sister. We've moved into a bigger apartment in Foxtail Valley, far away. I've taught you everything I know, and learned a lot from you in return, Rivermaster Finley. We'll miss you in the river. Farewell, Frog. P.S. I hope you have friends to stick with when the current gets too strong. Aw. And you know, the thing is that's how sudden a lot of this stuff gets. Like bacterial infections, flus type symptoms, these types of things can just happen like that. And when you have a system that isn't maintaining infrastructure, when you have a system where water supplies are not being properly maintained and water filtration's not being properly maintained and water mains are breaking all the time, this stuff becomes really common without bottled water being distributed. And then, you know, there's little band-aid solutions that happen, but Duke says people who work in hospitals have to deal with so much stress, which is why I think it's so insane how we barely let them take breaks and stretch everything beyond our capacity. I'm worried about Luis. He was really sick last night. I took him to St. Ursula's. I haven't heard anything since. I just hope he's okay. Meanwhile, you got these protesters outside who are ready to burn down the facility because, oh my god, the hospital's gouging people and killing people. When it's a combination mostly of the insurance companies and administration and politicians not providing for people at all. Like, this is what happens when infrastructure crumbles. Disease spreads, people get sicker, and then when you take away funding from the hospitals, there's no ability to treat everybody. It's just a sad reality. When we have the means and the capacity and we choose not to do it. Any idea what's going on around here? My dad says the hospital's useless. He said it's the doctor's fault everyone's sick right now. But I don't believe that. You got me all healthy again. And everyone there was really nice to me too. How are you blaming the hospital for people being sick? People in caretaker positions are always the ones who end up overworked and underpaid. It's so ridiculous. Because they're the ones doing, like, some of the hardest work in our society. And honestly, it's the quote-unquote boring jobs that end up having the most impact. I'm talking about people who deal with sanitation. I'm talking about people who, you know, are your everyday nurses, your educators. They're the quote-unquote boring jobs, but they're the jobs that end up, you know, making society even viable. Big Pharma wants to keep you sick so they can profit off of it. My belly feels like it's on fire. I think I'm gonna faint. Oh, now you want the hospital. Now you want the hospital. Huh? Huh? Now you want the hospital. Capacity costs money and looks a lot like wasteful slack. And the easiest thing to cut to maximize profit, nobody else notices until disaster strikes, and then you detect the blame. This is the problem with the way capital functions, right? Under capitalism, the goal is to make the most money possible, which means what that means is that you will always end up with a system where under capitalism, you will try to cut any extra that is available. Because anything that's quote-unquote extra is stuff that you're not using, stuff that you quote-unquote don't need. So you operate at maximum efficiency and at capacity. You operate where you think the line is supposed to be drawn. And if that line shifts because of a pandemic, or because of an increase in a certain thing, or a decrease in something else, then capitalism doesn't know how to handle that. Because there's no room for the slack. There's no room for, you know, oh, we should have extra staff on hand, because that's considered a waste of money. If you have extra nurses, that's considered a waste of resources. However, those extra nurses and the training that they've received are extremely valuable. And then when you end up in a crisis situation, you have them available and you're prepared. Just like having, you know, proper PPE for a pandemic in place. PPE for a pandemic or something like that. Having all of that equipment already prepared and ready is something that should be done. But the system doesn't incentivize that. The financial institutions don't incentivize that. Duke says Canada used to have a government drug lab manufacturer. This is what Banting started when he was discovered insulin less than 20 years ago. The governor sold it on the cheap. Shark says it annoys me how close some people get to understanding systemic issues and labeling individuals instead. Yeah. Duke says during COVID we were really wishing we could have produced our own drugs and vaccines like we used to. There should always be a surplus on things that are required for, like, medical necessities. Like, you should have a surplus of PPE available. You should have a surplus of doctors and nurses. You should have a surpluses of people and equipment to deal with medical emergencies, whether that be ambulances or even things like, you know, fire equipment. These places should be the places where surpluses are like 100% required. Because you need to be able to handle emergency situations. You need to be able to handle when the current efficient ends up being being displaced by an emergency situation, right? That just is common sense. But capital doesn't function that way. Capital functions by asking us to cut down to the bare minimum so that we operate at capacity, we operate at maximums, We operate, rather, at minimums. We operate at the absolute minimum that we can function at, because somebody else has to generate as much profit as possible off of that. And that doesn't make sense for how to run a hospital, or how to run a school, or how to run, a fire department. That's not how things should be functioning. It shouldn't even be how we deal with, like, shipping and trains, for example. But, we should be operating on surplus for these things. There should be backup waterways. There should be backup buses and trains and subways. There should be an abundance of these things, so that when one fails, and it inevitably will fail because infrastructure over time degrades. When something fails, there should be enough backups in place that it's not even inconvenient and we don't even feel it. It's always sacrifices to the sacred profit. Like, seriously, people resist even discussing the possibility that corporation could have less profit. No, for sure. For sure. When you have a water main break, there should be alternative systems and nodes on the network of water in order so that water can be diverted. If that's possible, that should be done. So a water main break doesn't, damage an entire half of a city, but instead maybe takes out a block. So it's not devastating, right? Like, these are the things that you can do to avoid long-term damages. And I'm like not 100% sure on the logistics of every single detail of all these things, because city planning is such a large topic, right? Like, there's no way one person's ever going to have the full grasp of what goes into city planning. But operating at a surplus makes sense for infrastructure-based needs. That's not how we treat society. That's not how we treat things. Ingrid, what? Finley, I can't really talk right now. We're getting overwhelmed. The wards are almost full. We've got more and more people coming in with the same symptoms. I'm trying to organize more beds. Make yourself useful and get to your ward. Shark says, except me, I can fully understand and grasp any concept. Fair enough, Shark. Fair enough. Oh, geez. Beds in the hallway. Oh boy, we're here. It's pretty crowded here. How is the night shift? Don't ask, don't ask. I'm pretty sure my bloodstream is like 80% coffee right now. Don't you want to take a break? Nope. Break later, things to do. They want us all to head to the break room. Dr. Krakowski's got something to tell us. Works for me. I was just gonna get myself another coffee anyway. And what happens when your staff starts going down? Because they're gonna start going down. Whatever this is isn't isolated to not the people in the hospital. Actually, ironically enough, if it is the chili, and it is from the festival, then the majority of people that were on staff at the hospital may not have actually gotten infected. However, Finley and Mia and Carl did. So we should start seeing them start having effects very shortly. But I 100% think that a lot of the people in the hospital would have avoided going to the festival and couldn't because they were working. So they may have actually been the ones who ironically get spared from this. No, but Finley never got to taste the chili because everyone else ate it before him. So Finley might not even be affected. I don't know if Mia ended up tasting other people's chili either. Certainly she would have maybe tasted her own, so maybe she gets somewhat sick. I don't know if Carl would have had, but we might actually have an ironic situation where the medical professionals might actually be the ones that got spared because of their hours and stuff. Good morning. I have a small announcement to make. You look tired, Dr. Krakowski. Did you even go home last night? We know more about what we're dealing with now, but we still need some time. The bacteria is aggressive. We've been able to contain it to a certain extent, but some patients are still experiencing internal bleeding. But that's not what I called you here for. As you may have noticed, our wards are full. What's more, a few of our staff have also started falling ill. If more people are admitted as the day goes on, we will hit full capacity. And what does that mean? It means that if we run out of space, we're going to have to turn people away. But, yeah, I know. This is new for me too. But we have no choice. People are already being reallocated to other hospitals in the local area. But the nearest hospital is over an hour's drive away. See, that's the thing that makes no sense to me. How do you have it so that there's only one hospital within an hour? Like, that's a hard thing to swallow. Like, wouldn't you rather have two hospitals operating at half capacity than one operating at full? Like, wouldn't that just alleviate stress overall? I don't know. We can no longer treat them here. I would ask you to take note of this information. We can't just send people back onto the streets. You know some of these people might be seriously ill. Wait a minute, Dr. Krakowski. Carl. What are you doing here, Carl? Don't you know you're not currently authorized to be here? Can you shove your authorizations at the moment? Yeah, blah, blah. Any idiot can see the hospital's bursting at the seams. So it seems, how else are we to explain your presence? I can't just sit by and watch people croak. And I won't let you down just because of some stupid forced vacation. Who's gonna stop me? Dr. Theobald's vanished into thin air. If he wants me thrown out, he can come up here and try it with his bare hands. And what's your plan? You think you can just, you think you can conjure up a second hospital with a wave of your magic wand? I don't need to. The ward on the 5th floor. Dr. Krakowski, we can get it running again. There's plenty of space up there and most of the beds are still in place. That ward has been out of operation for years. What, so you'd rather send all those people back home? Very well. I won't claim I'm happy about this, but since you're already here, get the 5th floor ward up and running as fast as you can. I'll help Carl with that. I can't say I'm surprised to hear you volunteer, Finley. I'll go to the lab and see Dr. Halil. I hope he has good news. Mia, Sandra, I leave this ward in your hands. Are you up to the responsibility? Yeah, ain't no thing. Good luck, everyone. Now get moving. Duke says no investor would ever invest in a business that is ever only half full, which is why. That's exactly what I'm getting at. Like, why do we rely on investors? Why do we have to rely on a for-profit model for medicine and for healthcare? That doesn't work. Yes, doctors and nurses need to be paid. They deserve to be paid very well for what they do and what they go through. There's a lot to their jobs. It is stressful, it is exhausting, and they deserve pay. Don't get me wrong. But they're not the reason why everything is so expensive and so exorbitant. A lot of it is insurance. A lot of it is the investors in these facilities that expect to turn a profit on medicine, where corners are cut. Duke says it's why the electrical grid in Texas collapsed in cold weather. The free market will limit supply to maximize profit. That's the thing, right? Like, and I've spoken about this on the channel before. It's nothing new. The electrical grid is one I definitely have talked about. The Texas electrical grid, with the cold weather that happened a couple years back, that was all due to the fact that free market incentives to drive customer costs down made it such that they didn't require proper insulation of equipment. You didn't have to have the power lines insulated so that they could handle cold and inclement weather. Because, oh, that only happens in Texas once every few years. But if you're not prepared for those once every few years, then what's the point of having this stuff, you know? It happens in Alberta too, and they should be used to the cold. Yeah. And like, as climate change gets worse, you're going to see these things happen more and more and more often. It snowballs. It snowballs every single time. when we think about short-term quarterly gains, and we think about how to minimize cost to the consumer, by cutting off, certain components of the thing, like, you can cut the customer the greatest deal in the world, but if they're not paying for a service that's going to work through a storm, then what's the point? And especially when it's being done to generate profit. And you end up with these companies, the electric companies, that are trying to compete with each other. So inevitably, one is going to say, well, I'll cut out all the insulation. And another one says, well, I'll cut off all these features, and I can trim the fat here, and I can cut this. I'll get the lowest price to the consumer. And by the end of it, you're paying for electricity that barely frickin' works. And is being held together with glue and tape. It costs more, and it isn't there when you need it most. Yeah. Yeah. That's what capitalism does to everything. And it takes our ability to literally provide for everyone and makes it so that certain people get preferential treatment over other people, and that not everybody has access. I always cite the thing, whenever we get into conversations about healthcare and I come across a conservative, all they always bring up is, oh, well, in other places there's wait times to go for the doctor. There's wait times here too. First of all, there's wait times for any procedure. It's just, if you're not getting something that is absolutely a necessity to save your life, there's going to be a wait time. But if you truly want to fix wait times, that means having more facilities, more options available, more doctors and nurses trained, more staff available at all times, blah, 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 blah. But the other side of that also is that there are people, because of insurance, because of other factors, including having to work 2 or 3 jobs, because of other factors that involve them not even being able to get to a doctor for whatever reason, where their wait times are infinite. So wouldn't you rather those people that are experiencing the quote-unquote infinite wait times, I say quote-unquote, but that's the reality, right? If you can't access the system, your wait time to see a doctor is infinite. If you can take that person and give them a 2 to 3 month wait time, that is a vast improvement over the infinity, right? And if that has to come at the cost of a few wealthy people not being able to see the doctor the moment they want to, and having to wait a few days for something that isn't necessarily something they have to deal with that day, I'm all for it. But they don't want to wait. They want their tiered system. They want their preferential care. And it comes at the cost of everybody else. Wait times are only a result of inefficient resources because we don't want to raise taxes on rich people to actually pay for the stuff. And rich people can afford private care, so it's not really an issue. They can avoid the wait times entirely. And when it really boils down to is when they point out the ideas like, oh, there will be wait times. It means that some wealthier people might have to wait a little bit longer to get non-essential care. Because if you have an emergency and you're going to die, nobody's going to sit there and wait to give you a procedure generally. Unless, of course, insurance is a factor. Unless, of course, health is, your health insurance doesn't provide what you want or need, or doesn't give you everything. And then again, that wait time goes from a finite amount to an infinite amount. And that's ridiculous. It's why the rich are so aggressive against healthcare here. Everyone has to use it, and they hate not being able to pay for premium. Instead of just paying for everybody to get access to premium healthcare, they would rather hoard it for themselves. How absurd is that? How inhumane is that? Come on, Finley, let's take a look at the ward upstairs. I feel like I'm just ranting and screaming into the microphone, but it's frustrating. Look, everybody wants to get back to their lives and wants to be able to get surgeries and access to medical care and everything like that, and the top tier treatment. Do you really think we can do this? Sure we can. There's a lot of junk lying around. We've got no electricity, but if we work together, we'll get the hang of it. It doesn't have to hold together for years, just long enough for us to ride out this wave. I'll deal with the bedrooms. You take care of the corridors. We're not trying to win a prize for best interior design, just clear enough space so we can get through. Understood. Duke says, not gonna lie, this is why I love making rich people feel small and dumb. Jalik says, to be honest, all of this also goes for places with socialized healthcare like Germany. Duke says, yep, neoliberalism has introduced market logic into aspects of government and society. Which is not helping. It is not helping, I'll tell you. Like, this fifth floor, how many times did Finley bring up that this fifth floor could be fixed before this incident? And everyone was like, no, we don't need the fifth floor, it's fine. It's good as new. Why did we stop using this ward in the first place? It has a lovely rustic charm. Maybe it had something to do with all the mold. The discarded machinery. That thick layer of dust that's covering everything. Alright, you've made your point. But the dust only moved in here later, you know? Okay, we've got almost everything we need. We're just missing the power. I might be able to help with that. I once administered emergency treatment to the junction box in surgery. I'm afraid this ward doesn't have a junction box. When the others got refurbished, this one was just left to rot. I guess the breakers for this ward are down in the basement. That's where the main distributor is. I'll go downstairs and turn on the power. Good, I'll get started filling up the beds and rooms. There's plenty of people waiting downstairs after all. This is bringing up some crap. This is bringing up some pandemic level crap right here. Like, this is everything that everybody was complaining about during the pandemic. Just in a video game. And it's like we've suddenly pretended we've gone back to normal. I know COVID's spiking in a lot of places, too. We're just accepting it as normal now. You know. That's just the reality we live in. Duke says, my partner was saying this game seems like some doctor's COVID trauma. Yeah, it really does. Suddenly, you're not just a doctor, but an electrician. The new normal indeed. Hello and welcome, merchants. Hope you're having a chill and lovely Sunday. Glad you could join us. Merchant says, hope everyone's having a good day. I am having a good day. I really am. Despite my ranting about the medical system that's going on right now. If I carry on like this, I'll be able to qualify as a professional electrician soon. Now I need to get back upstairs. Carl's on his way up there. Yep. Professional electrician and doctor. Hold on, that's Dr. Theobald? What were you thinking? Have you any idea what's been going on around here? Yes, I know, of course. That's why I'm here. Just listen to me for a moment, please. I had to go. I couldn't stay here anymore. I take full responsibility. I always wanted the best for St. Ursula's. Believe me, a few years ago, I was appointed chief physician, but not without help. Roman Heydrich already held a lot of influence over the hospital, even back then. Here we come with the financial bullshit. He offered me the position of chief physician as part of a restructuring. At the time, I thought it was the best way for me to actively help the hospital. I was still too young. I hadn't really earned the position. But I went along with it, and Roman supplanted my predecessor for me. We had big plans. Everything was great at first, but Roman put more and more pressure on me. He had interests of his own. He didn't even try to hide them from me. He kept coming to me with strange ideas. He wanted to take more and more money out of the hospital. When I refused, he started blackmailing me. I had to sign bills, purchase orders, and other documents for him. Otherwise, he would blow the cover on our agreement. And as chief physician, I would have taken the fall for everything. That's why I went along with it, for the good of the hospital. However, as we drew more and more public attention, Roman got cold feet. He took off and advised me to do the same. Sooner or later, his scam would be uncovered. And well, here we are. But I couldn't leave the hospital in such a time of need. I will take responsibility for what I've done. I'm so sorry about everything. I never should have... Thank you. Pull yourself together. Look at yourself. I'm furious. I'd never have thought you were capable of such a thing. If you really care about us and St. Ursula's, and get a move and help the staff. Now. We don't have time for all this whining. But Thank you. And the power went out. Dr. Krakowski, what's going on here? Finley, what are you doing here? I thought you were on the 5th floor. No matter, the power's gone out. Maybe we overloaded the grid. The hospital's running on emergency power. I'll speak to Gregor. We'll get this under control as quickly as possible. And I'll make sure all the wards can continue working. Finley, please go to our ward. Check on Mia and the others. What about Carl? Carl's extremely experienced. He'll be fine without you for a few minutes. I'll be there in a minute. Got it. Mia, the power's out. Yes, I can see that. Or rather, I can't see a great deal of anything right now. Are you alright here? Do you need a hand? We'll muddle through. Sandra's got the ward under control. Where's Dr. Krakowski? She's checking all the wards. Wards have everything they need. Dr. Theobald's taking care of the power failure. Dr. Theobald? Did I hear that right? Yeah, he's back. I just ran into him while he was explaining himself to Dr. Krakowski. He was... What's wrong? Can you smell that, Mia? What do you mean? That's fire. That's... There's gonna be an electrical fire. The 5th floor. It's on fire. What? We just got the ward up and running. Everything was going great. Then there was this huge bang, sparks flying everywhere, and all that old junk up there caught fire. We have to get out of here quickly. Where's Carl? He's still upstairs. We're trying to get everyone out of there. Mia, I'm going upstairs. I have to check on Carl. Should I come with you? You stay here. Make sure the ward's evacuated properly. Okay, I can do this. Renee, could you help Mia, please? Sure thing. See you in a minute. This is what happens when you don't repair the electrical grid. Carl, are you there? Over here. Quick, we need help. The bed's stuck. Help me move it. Finley, keep your eyes open. That almost ended very badly. Thanks, Finley. What are we doing? What are we gonna do now? We need to put out the fire. First, we have to get everyone out of here. There's a plan for things like this. We evacuate everyone to the school gym hall. Then we stay there until the fires have been put out. We contact the other hospitals in the area and then get people out to them as soon as possible. Until then, we keep going. So, get everyone out? Get everyone out. We can't use the elevators, so we'll need to carry people downstairs. Benjamin and I can man the stairs. You go to the bottom of the stairs and take the beds as we pass them down. Dima and Archie will be waiting at the front entrance. Take the beds to the front of the building. What about the other wards? They'll all be doing the same thing. You think Dr. Krakowski and Mia will be okay? Yes, we'll help them in a minute. Thank goodness we hadn't filled this ward to capacity yet. Okay. Come on, there's no time to lose. How are things looking up there? Benjamin and Carla are evacuating people to beds. Great, us too. We still need people downstairs to help with the transport. I'm on my way. Mia, are you alright? Yeah, I'm good. The smoke's really bad, though. 5th floor's on fire. We'll need to get people out of here fast. Sandra and I are getting ready to evacuate our ward now. We'll bring everyone downstairs. I'll help push them to the main entrance. Good. Take care, please, Finley. You too. See you soon. We've almost evacuated everyone, but they still need urgent help downstairs. I can't believe it. How could this happen? Game. Okay, not gonna lie, these things are on wheels. I should be at running speed with this. Also, I just saw Mia and Krakowski leave. They couldn't have taken another bed with them. Duke says I can't even imagine being a doctor going through all this. I would have serious PTSD afterwards. Yeah! Finley, you're still here? You need to leave. Take the next transports at the gym. The rest of the staff are already on their way. I'm sure your services will be needed there. Don't you think I should do another check at the hospital? We might have missed some people. I've been to a lot of the wards. I'll do one last round of the ground floor, then I'll be right behind you. I'll come with you. You've done well. Better than I could have done. I'll be alright. I'll just hold my stethoscope tight. Go on now, Finley. And thank you. Come on, get in here. The others need you to. Ah, Finley, there you are. We need all the help we can get right now. Come on, take care of the sick as best you can. I'll assign the teams, and then I'll help out as well. Finley, leave it. Dr. Kowalski, glad you're here. This patient's very sick. She's beyond her help now. But can't you see? The woman's already dying. But you can help me. I need you up front urgently. Please come with me quickly. I feel like Irma passing in the last stream was supposed to get you into the place where you dealt with the emotions of losing that patient that you connected with. And then you move into this section of the game and it's like, you just have to go. And you still are sad by the people literally dying in front of you. Like, that one, you actually felt. Like, I don't know how to explain what that felt like. Because you see the chart going up and down, up and down, and down, and then it just slowed. The rhythm just slowed. And you just watched it fade as you were playing it, checking the rhythm. And, like, I feel like Dr. Krakowski kind of is providing that input there of, like, there's only so much you can do to help people. Like, you only have a limited capacity. You have to go right now. And, like, there's that slow, you can mourn perspective when it came to someone like Irma under non-critical situations. But in this crisis mode, there's just no time. You do the best you can for every single patient, and when somebody is gone, they're gone. You go where there's somebody living who needs you. And it sucks, but that's where we're at because of the lack of tools available, you know? Dedicated to the people who work in healthcare. That was a lot. That was a lot. We'll talk about the next game. I just want to let the moment happen here and just give everybody a moment to breathe, a moment to decompress. We'll take a quick break after we talk for a few minutes, and we'll talk about where we're headed next.
Summer's gone by in the blink of an eye. It's a fine line between good times and memories, just one breath away from eternity.
Oh, that's unrealistic.
Summer's
The financial
gone by
advisor getting
blink of an eye.
Yeah, I wish.
Summer's gone by in the blink of an eye.
Oh, Finley got a new plant at least.
Like a stranger on a sidewalk, a short smile, no time for words. Oh, summer's gone by, like a night with friends you thought could never end. But now it's barely remembered. I hope that you still remember me, like a melody that is still stuck in your head. Stuck in your head, you're still stuck in my head.
Oh, Irma.
Summer's gone by in the blink of an eye. It's a fine line between good times and memories, just one breath away from eternity. Oh, summer's gone by in the blink of an eye. Summer's gone by in the blink of an eye. Always summer's gone by. How summer's gone by. Now it's barely remembered. I hope that you still remember me, like a melody that's still stuck in your
All
head.
the anonymous interview partners who were on his
You're
stories.
still stuck in my head.
These were taken from a combination of people's stories. They interviewed people for this to write this game. People who remained anonymous. Is that Dr. Theobald? Did Theobald pass away? Yeah. Yeah, Theobald passed away in the fire. That was a lot. Wow. Yeah, and the twins did turn into the biohazards we knew them as. Yeah, Elle, I definitely recommend rewatching the ending. Just, it's emotional, it's intense. Duke says, I'm glad we didn't do this one over the Christmas break. Yeah, that would have been a lot, wouldn't it have? I'm glad we waited. I'm glad we waited. That was intense, but also really real. Jaguar says, sorry, dang, homework made me lose some details. Was the fire caused by the mob or something else? The fire was caused by the fact that Finley was forced to be an electrician and turn the power on to the 5th floor ward because they didn't have space in the hospital. So they turned on the electricity, but the electricity wasn't wired properly, and it sparked a fire on the 5th floor. Also, whoever is the inspiration for Carl in these stories is my hero. You want to compare this game to Pathologic now, but you feel like it can't really, since they focus on entirely different things. Personally, I'd compare this to Night in the Woods with a lot of the stuff that we were talking about with that, with coal mining and the coal industry, and the way that towns have been affected by just the shift in economics. But, I mean, if you have a connection with Pathologic, by all means, share it. Also, the way the game is structured is a lot like Night in the Woods. Which I think was to its benefit, right? Like, borrowing that formula really worked. Jalek says, Carl is all a person should ever wish to be. He fed the homeless, he helped people, he was silly all the way through. True. And he defended his people and in the hospital, and he prioritized people over everything else. Carl's a damn hero. Not that Finley and Mia weren't great or anything. And honestly, Dr. Krakowski was pretty awesome too and all of that. You know, for as cold and distant as she started off coming out being, she ended up being the one who scolded Theobald, because Theobald was the one who sold the hospital out for his own gain and profit. I told you I didn't trust him when he had that painting on the wall. But yeah, this is definitely based on a lot of real stories that happened during the course of the pandemic. I wish this game got more traction than it already did. I feel like they did a really great job of taking a very serious topic and very serious topics around illness, infrastructure, the medical system, and they managed to use the cuteness of the animal characters and the personalities and some of the more silly moments and lighthearted moments of Finley, especially at the beginning, in order to kind of get us connected, but also keep us far enough away from it that it doesn't feel so real that it's disturbing. You know, and also they have these sections where you pick between whether you want to spend time with Mia or you want to spend time with Carl. You know, when we went out and helped Carl get food from the dumpster, we could have also helped Mia prepare her chili, I think. I think when we picked going to play basketball with Mia, we could have alternatively gone and hung out at the bar with Carl. And there were a few different choices, you know, depending on who we hung out with. And I think those broke up some of the monotony of, like, the game and the gameplay loop. And, you know, going and being able to talk to the residents of the town and being able to work on the comic with that one girl in the schoolyard. And, you know, you see there's other little issues going on in the town. Being able to talk with Frock by the fishing spot. You know, there's a lot of these really nice details that were coming out alongside the medical realities. And they did a really good job, I think, of mixing that joyful nature mixed with the medical side of things. And the fact that the medical side of things is both healing and beneficial, but also there's death and illness and pandemic and all sorts of other stuff going on. And we don't actually get, I guess, the full details of what happened at the end there. But I have to assume that the festival and the water supply got poisoned somehow. For the whole town to be affected like that, that was the only time that we saw everybody kind of taste or drink the same thing. So I have to assume that the town water supply somehow got contaminated. Like, the fountain water being used in the stews had to be it, if you ask me. They're putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frogs dead. Oh, that's funny. I mean, you also have, you know, I kind of was wondering if they were going to answer everything or kind of leave it up to interpretation. I feel like when Finley had the accident at the beginning of the game, there was definitely a level of, the financial guy was hiding up in the 5th floor and was looking over the insurance papers probably, and had probably been stealing money from the hospital from what Theobald had said, both for his own pocket and for Theobald's probably. there was definitely some financial embezzlement going on through the insurance stuff. And especially with him getting arrested at the end, that's what I have to assume happened. And I assume that Finley's accident at the beginning of the game was that he almost stumbled upon discovering the financial guy out at the very beginning, who was probably hiding on that 5th floor ward. And, you know, with the town festival, all of the water from those stews was taken from a fountain that hadn't been maintained, was not repaired, it was in disrepair, and would have theoretically had stagnant water. Like, some fountain systems recycle their own water for use and continue to use it, and don't necessarily pump in new water. So we don't know how long that water was sitting stagnant with the fountain not working. And it's one thing if the water is constantly flowing and going through a filtration system, right? But if they were to have that water turned on 2 to 3 days before the festival, which was what we saw, the filtration system may not have caught everything. And some of the stagnant water could have still ended up in the system. And the only thing that was lucky for Finley, Carl, and Mia is the fact that they did not, in fact, ingest the stews because everyone else ate it first. But that's disturbing. Like, that you could have a town infrastructure fail like that. Not just the hospital, but the water supply as well. Jaguar says, where was the mob to protest the lack of infrastructure? They were too busy fighting the hospital staff who was protecting them, because they were blaming the doctors and nurses for their bad outcomes rather than the system itself, because it's always easier to blame individuals than it is to blame the society. It's always easier to have the concept of one big bad rather than an entire system failing. And that was a lot, and it definitely brought up a lot of stuff from COVID and the pandemic. It definitely brought up a lot of stuff around losing loved ones, and last week especially, I know I cried because of Irma and her passing and all that. And, you know, some of that was could have been tied to the fact that they had a water leak in the building. You know? Her pneumonia might have gotten worse because of that. And instead of sitting there and saying, well, it's the janitor's fault, they should be looking at, well, why aren't there more janitors on staff? Why are there not more repair people working to be able to keep the building up to code? Gangle says, also hello and welcome, Gangle. Hope you're having a chill, lovely Sunday. A person died at the hospital. That would not have happened if we didn't have a hospital. Let's tear it down. Right? Like, that's the kind of mentality where it's like... It's what is it? Cutting off the nose to spite the face? Like, you're not helping the situation. But yeah, that was intense. So I think if we're okay, I'm gonna take a few minutes of break. I'll come back. We'll pop into Staxel for a bit, and we'll talk about what we're gonna do for the next game. Because what we originally had planned is gonna have to be pushed back just slightly. In favor of something a little bit shorter and hopefully a little cute. I think we need cute after this. So... Jalek says the mob was probably an allegory for anti-vaxxers and anti-maskers. I just got that. Yeah, for sure. Jaguar says, I have a lot of feelings, so yeah, break is okay. Do you want to express your feelings before we go on break? Okay. I know we try to keep it chill here. We also try to keep it real. And this game, I feel like, provided a good balance of both chill and realness. Hopefully we didn't cross too many lines into real from chill with that ending. But yeah, if anybody needs anything, we'll take it easy the rest of the stream. So I'll take a break for a few minutes, and I'll see you all on the other side. And we're back with some Saxel. Duke had said, as rough as that game was, I'm glad to get to experience it with you all. I'm glad we got to experience that together as well. Okay, so here's the thing. The next game that we were supposed to play was supposed to be a game called Black Book. That was what was voted on by the community. However, I don't know if Black Book is necessarily going to be the best follow-up to this game. I think it's another game that's going to be somewhere in the range of 6 to 8 streams long. It's going to be probably on the more intense side, at least in terms of plot and conversation and resource management. So after Fall of Porcupine, I feel like we need to go something shorter, something cuter. So while we're in Staxel, I think what we're going to try to aim for is building something. I don't even know what to commemorate the fall of Porcupine. And then we're going to figure out what we're going to play next and then build something for that. And I think that'll be where we end the stream. I am not building a burnt down hospital. That is terrible. And we'll figure out what we're doing next. We have a stethoscope already, ill. We're standing on top of a stethoscope right now. It would be fitting, though, and very appropriate. I wouldn't even know how to go into building the burnt down hospital. I don't feel like I'd be comfortable doing that. But yeah, a small hospital. We could also make Finley. Could probably make Finley happen. A small cube on fire. Y'all want to see the hospital on fire? But yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll figure out the next game together. Finley would be cool. We'll build the portal to the next game, and then we'll probably call stream there, because by the time we're done with all that, we'll only probably have an hour left in stream. We went over a lot last time, so I don't think it would be too bad if we ended a little early today. But yeah, let me see about Finley. I like the idea of Finley better than a burning hospital. I just don't like the idea. I agree. Starting a new game with only an hour left would be kind of meh. Let me pull up a picture of Finley. Let's see. Finley, ball of porcupine. Try to make Finley as life-sized as possible. Or as large as possible, so that we get all the details. Tara, would you be interested in some invite code for Blue Sky? What is Blue Sky? Twitter alternative? Potentially, yes. Facebook's Twitter alternative. Alright, so for Finley, we're gonna do Finley in... Alright, we need a sky blue color block of some kind. We need a gray. And we need white. That can work. For the sky blue color. Can theoretically use that for the white. We'll need yellow for the feet, and then we need something gray. Preferably gray with some texture, so probably this moon dirt right here. Can probably do it. The one from Facebook is called Threads, not Blue Sky. Yeah, I think... Is Blue Sky the one that was started by the people who first made Twitter, like Duke said? Because if so, I'm definitely more interested in that. Let's see, where can I... I think we can make our life-sized Finley around here. Okay, we'll start with Finley's feet. Start off with that because... And then we have Finley's pants. Oh, I gotta turn on fly. Here we go. Finley's pants. And let's go about 3 up for the pants. And then we've got scrubs. Should be able to have like 3 across. Going up like that. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers up for his body. Okay. And then we'll have the white lab coat kind of doing its thing here. One, 2 more. Cat, you okay? Okay, cool. Cat is okay. Cat had claw stuck, needed to check on Cat. Cat is fine now. And we want... Let's see. Maybe one more this way. And then like right here, we want to put the pocket. So we'll cut that open. And we'll have the other leg come down maybe like right here. We've got 1, 2, 3. We're gonna make his body accurate. So 1, 2, 3, like right there. And then I'm gonna try to make this a little more 3D, but I want to get the base for him dealt with first. Although making him 3D might be a little more difficult, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what we can come up with. We have his tail feathers, which we can do later. We've got his arm, which and this has him kind of going in his pocket. So we can do that. Okay, that just looks weird. It looks like... I don't know what that looks like. Okay, redo that. Actually... I don't know what that doesn't look right. Let's just have the arm. Kind of just come down like that, and it's little. It makes him look so boxy, the way that they angle him in the game versus here. I think I gotta make this more 3D. Or else it's just gonna look really silly. We'll do that. You know what, maybe if we took off the corners here to make it look more... No, that doesn't help at the bottom. Okay, let's start working on his head a little bit and see if that helps. I have 2 layers. And then a layer with his beak. Oh, that's unfortunate. What can we use for it? We'll use something for his beak. Let's come back to his beak. And then... his eyes will be there. And then the top of his head will come across here. All right, let's do... No, I'm not done. We got yellow glow blocks, right? Yep, these will be eyes. It almost looks like this furthest out spot should be the arm already. And then Finley's kind of got the tail feathers. So let's see about... something like that. They kind of go upwards. I don't think I should do it like a full square, actually. Maybe instead I can start with the base of 4 and then I can kind of do something like that. And that. For the feathers, I don't know. His head also isn't this square. He also has a couple of a feather or 2 sticking up off the top in the back. So we can do that. And that kind of... What do we do for the gray thing in his pocket? I don't want to use the same gray block, because then I want something a little bit more... Yeah, like that. And then... What if we just did something like that? See if we can get the pocket look going. Yeah, that kind of looks like he's got his hand in his pocket. And this one, how long is his arm? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hand. And then he has, in the image I'm looking at, a coffee mug. What can we use for a coffee mug? Maybe I can make that sit. Oh, come on. Let me put that there. That would have been perfect. Let's see what we can find. Gotta be something that's mug-shaped. Let's see. Coffee. No. Mug. You know, we'll do that, and then... that just kind of looks blobbish. I don't know if there's a good way to give that feathered effect in this game. I mean, I kind of did it up here. Maybe I should just not do the full 4 like that, or just do it. Something like that. A thicker feather and a thinner feather. Is that terrible for Finley? What do we think? It's a bird doctor. I think that's about as good as we're gonna get with is bird doctor. I think I'm satisfied with that. I think it's cute. May not be perfect. But I think that works. So the next question becomes, what do we do for the next game? And like I said before, we were supposed to do book what was that game? Black Book. Black Book. Yeah, I haven't gone over them the first time, Il. So I will gladly go over them again. We were supposed to do Black Book next. And like I said, that's going to be at least 6 to 8 weeks, possibly even up to 10-week trip and journey. And it's going to have some intense themes. So I feel like we need something more chill. Something that's a week or two long. Something we can just have a good time with. And something we can just have chill vibes with before we get into a longer game. I might want to do 2 of these games. I haven't decided yet. But to start with, these are the options that I had more or less come up with. Let me set up a tab with them. And we can kind of just go over those games very briefly. And figure out what we want to do. So there's this one. I'm just setting up the tabs. And here we go. 3 different options. Let's see if I can get it to do... Perfect. Okay. So, first game is called Spirit of the North. 3D single player, third person adventure game inspired by breathtaking and mysterious landscapes of Iceland. Plays an ordinary red fox whose story becomes entwined with the guardian spirit of the Northern Lights, a female spirit fox. We have Time on Frog Island, which is cast away on an island paradise complete with a cast of friendly frogs. Enjoy sandbox island life and explore at your own pace, solving sticky situations for your new friends and trading your way to fixing your ship. And here comes Nico, which is a cozy 3D platformer for tired people. You play as Nico, traveling across scenic islands, making new friends, catching fish, solving puzzles, snagging bugs, and more. Oh, and did I mention your boss is a frog? Seems to be a frog theme on the last two games. That was unintentional. So I'll show off the trailers very briefly. And then I'll put it up to a vote and we'll decide. You all help me come up with a portal for the next game and we'll move on from there. That was Spirit of the North. That looked Okami too. I definitely saw some Okami inspiration there. That's a gorgeous game. I have never played through all of that. That's one I wouldn't mind playing at some point. Not for Sunday stream, because I think it violates a few rules, but yeah. Let's do Frog Island. I get like Animal Crossing vibes from this one.
There is a little island in the middle of the sea, and the creature.
I gotta probably stop that because I'm gonna get copyrighted for that. But yeah, and last one was Here Comes Nico. Oh, and funny thing is Nico actually made an appearance in Demon Turf. That's where we actually saw Nico for the first time. So we will actually be continuing in the same continuity. frog vibes. Forget about it. Good luck, professional friend. I feel like this game is made for Doug. I'm gonna leave it up to you. I know my personal choice out of those three. Oh, frogs are jumpers, so you know what? You make my heart jump. What the heck? Yeah, I'm gonna throw a poll up. I know what my vote is, so, but I'll reserve my vote for after. Let me switch back to... We must do a frog poll. Okay. Engage with your audience. Start a poll. Next game? Spirit of the North. I'm on Frog Island. Here comes Nico. Yes, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Gangle says I'd love something like Aviary Attorney. That was much fun. If I can find another game like Aviary Attorney, that would be fun. If you know of any, let me know. Looks like Nico is winning. That's 4-1 on Nico. Spirit of the North got nothing. You want to know something? The fourth game that was potentially going to be on that list also had a frog theme. It's a 3D platformer in camp called Frogun. Which I opted not to do for a few reasons, but yeah, frogs seem to be in the cards. Jaguar's like, I wanted to vote for all. Alright, then here comes... Oh, somebody switched. Or somebody put Spirit of the North. We got 6 votes here. My personal vote was going towards, here comes Nico. So I think we're on the same page. So what do I want to build for Nico? What should I build? A frog. Frogs don't make good portals. Or so I hear. The frog with the handsome face. Frog mouth portal. Okay. A lily pad. A frog mouth portal. Okay, I think I can do a frog mouth portal. Okay, let's see what we can come up with. Okay. Honestly, I can probably use this very same green. Where's a good spot for this? I think right here works, next to these two little ponds. Actually, let me see if I can get a just slightly darker shade of green. A bus. Yeah, let's go with spring. We're gonna make a froggy. There's the froggy's little leggies. And then... that's the back legs. Let's do the front legs. You know what? Let's put a little space in between so we have the luxury of that. We're in 3D. And boop, 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 and doop. And that's gonna connect into the wider frog body. And then... I'm just gonna make this silly as can be. Because this game looks cute and silly. We use the mushroom block for the belly color. And we're gonna want one more. And then for some reason this froggy has pink cheek. So we're gonna go with... that's too dark of a pink. I might have to go with it. And we need black for eyes and for the portal mouth. So I'm gonna make it so that the frog's cheeks are all bloated. Because you know how frogs can bloat out their cheeks. big gaping frog mouth as our portal. Y'all ask for ridiculousness, you're getting ridiculousness. Nothing less. It's important that it be gaping to accommodate the portal. True. And then we'll do a little stocky doos for the eyes. I feel like I just made a Minecraft creeper. And work of art. I'm glad you think so. And final touch for the portal. What color should we do? Let's... I think we're gonna do that just because I think it's silly. The frog mouth portal is created. You all wanted a frog mouth portal? I hope you're satisfied. Duke says very satisfied, thank you. We're gonna make this additionally hilarious. By doing that. Look what you've made me create. Alright, so next time, that's one spicy portal. You couldn't get the hospital on fire, but you got a fire frog with a portal mouth. Alright, so next time we'll be playing Here Comes Nico. And, I don't think it makes sense to jump into the game now. We've got an hour left to stream. So, I think we'll wrap it up here. And we'll join next time with Nico. And our frog friends. Through the portal mouth. You all have a good one, and I will see you all next week. So I'm going to give everybody 5 minutes if they all want to talk at all. Thank you again for going through very heavy conversations with me. That was a lot with the previous game, and thanks for understanding. We needed something a little more chill for next time. So, yeah. With that said, like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube algorithm-y things, and my name is Anarchist Terra. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your Sunday and rest of your week. Take care.